Welcome to the Release Your Blocks podcast. I am your host, Victoria Bond. I am a spiritual empowerment coach. I help teach others to show up to their potency so they can fulfill their mission here on earth. I'm so glad you are here. And if you are interested in becoming a medium, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, or if you're interested in shifting your life from the 3D to live more in the 5D reality, then check me out, book a clarity call, and let's get chatting. Hello, everybody. Please meet my special guest, Stephanie Lenne. Thank you for being here, Stephanie. I'm super excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here too.
Yeah, and we've got some amazing stuff to go through today. So this interview is for anyone that is going from, making $0 in their online coaching business to actually becoming booked out and just creating more capacity by tapping into who they are. So just before we get going and I interview Stephanie, I just wanted to let you know this is for anyone who wants to be booked out in their coaching business. Maybe you've got a program that you've been wanting to sell for over a year or 2 or 3 years. There's a program sitting there, an idea for a program, but you just don't know how to get those sales in, right? And this is what we're going to go through today because I've been through it myself. Stephanie has been through it, and you can be a mum. So Stephanie, you work full time and you've got a toddler and You've got the side hustle of being a coach. So You went from making, so just to be clear, you went from making no money. You've got a few different things that you do. You're a manifest generator, but you went from making no money in your coaching business to actually filling up a program and getting a one-to-one and making I think it was $4,500 in 1 week. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, that is me.
Yeah. So some of the things that you did, so we're going to break this down for you guys as well, is and also if you're here and you are unsure of your human design or how to have a strategy, right? So it's more than just energetics. There's energetics that you definitely did, Steph. I can't wait for you to tell us about that. But there's strategy involved as well. But not every strategy fits every person. That's like a cookie cutter approach, right? And what we found out about Stephanie was that certainly did not fit because she was doing all the right things, but the results weren't happening. So if that feels like you, then please stay tuned. Also, if you have a Facebook group and you're always posting on Instagram, and Stephanie's was Instagram, and trust me, her Instagram, go check it out because it is next level amazing. She's so good at reels. I'm like, how do you do that? She's amazing. She's a 2.5, so she's very bright and attractive in all the different ways, energetically and physically and all the things. But that didn't help you get sales for your program, did it?
No, not at all. I love that you've just said that with the strategy, because even for me, in, say, my old paradigm is still going to the strategy of well, what do I need to do? How many times do I need to post? That's where I go with my strategy. But then introducing me or reminding me, because I was introduced to human design earlier in the year, and I was like, yeah, amazing, I'm a manifesting generator, it means this and that about me, and that was basically where I left it. And it wasn't until I started working with you, Victoria, that strategy, you just had that right in my face, and I was like, but I don't get it, I don't understand, how do I do that? And you're like, that's what you do, that's what you need to do, you need to wait, you need to respond. And that for me was that changed the game for me.
And it would literally, you were like this. There was a switch that literally flicked. It was totally crazy. And one thing that I was noticing that you were doing, Stephanie, is you're a manifest generator. So you got the capacity to have a full-time job and a child and a husband. You really do adore your husband and put a lot of energy into your marriage and stuff, which I love so much. You live very authentically.
Yeah.
Very authentically. But because you have got this big heart, and this is where some of our listeners, they will get stuck as well, this big heart, this big generative energy to share with everybody. But because it was leaning so much into this feminine energy, and you were trying to give people what they needed because you've got this genius, which we'll go into soon, what happened was you weren't getting any responses to this. And I'm talking about, guys, her content is next level. Like when you see it, when you see your context, when you see your graphics, there was a few things we picked up in there as well, which wasn't super aligned with you. But when you were doing this and you weren't being recognized for your genius, that was something that we had to change straight away. And I said that in our actual sales call. I was like, I can see what you're doing, and this has to change straight away. So how did you feel when I told you that you were actually meant to do less? And bring in money faster by doing less?
Yes, it is the combination of like relief. Like, thank God, because if you had told me, no, you need to do another, 20 hours or whatever, I'd be like, oh my God. So relief, and also how do I do that? Because I am that manifesting generator who goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour and does all the things, and then you tell me, hang on a minute, maybe you need to pull back. I'm like, well, what? How? I don't know how to do that. But the one thing I think you said to me when we first made potentially like our first call together was, just because you can do everything doesn't mean you have to do everything. And I was like, wow. That is life-changing for a manifesting generator, because it's like I didn't realize. I thought, I've got this energy, I need to do the things, I just got to keep on doing all the things. But actually pulling back and not trying to do everything, not trying to do all the reels, not trying to do all the posts, not trying to do all the stories, not trying to do everything, actually gave me better results.
And this is what is happening in, the coaching industry is, if you work hard, you'll get results. If you work hard, you'll make the sales. And time after time, as you're aware as well, we see people, because you're a manager, currently you manage like 20 people, like, so you know how to do things, you know how to come across, you're very articulate, you very professional in your own right. But the thing is, when we're following what we think we should be doing in the working hard paradigm and the posting and all the platforms and doing the reel, and like, it was like I said, I love following you. I was like, this is great. And then when I was like, so when's the next program? How much are you making? Da, 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 da. And you're like, oh yeah, no, that's not what. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, let's like dive into this. So when I told you to pull back, it was like literally like a horse, like or like chomping at the bit.
Oh my
God, you're like, what do I do? Where do I start? And I was like, the first thing you need to do is you need to wait, you need to stop, you need to pull back. And you're like, huh? I was like, you want to make money? This is what you need to do. So just so you guys understand what I'm talking about a little bit more, is what we actually did is we went into Stephanie's genius. Now, this was all happened on the Aligned Success Accelerator Academy. So this was not one-to-one coaching. So you had these results within a program, and you do this now for other people as well. So you can get people massive results in a group program, not necessarily one-to-one, although that is an option. And what actually happened was, when we figured out what Stephanie's genius was, which, a little hint, is literally genius, like her genius is genius. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but this is what I was saying before. You help people to find their life's purpose. The thing is, it's about attracting and not chasing, right? And this is not for every single person, because when it comes to human design, when it comes to strategy, when it comes to your channels, and you've got a special little channel, don't you? You've got a channel between, what is that? It's like between your throat and your anja. And the first thing I saw was like, whoa, there. Yeah. we got that little tricky bugger, because the truth is, when you show up as you, and like you, that's all you are your strategy, of course. But when you bring in these little tidbits, these little things that you're unconscious of, or maybe have been resisting. Once we were able to drop some of that stuff for Stephanie, she was able to come out. And the moment that you got it, like you had that moment, and there's so many layers to this, you went ahead and you made those 5 sales while she had a full-time job, while she had a toddler, while she stopped posting as much.
Yeah.
And of course, there was some work to do. There always is, but it was more specific to you. So tell me a little bit about your genius and what you figured out about you when I helped you uncover your genius.
Yes. Okay. So it's so interesting, isn't it? Because for me, my genius was, it came to me, it was pretty quickly, I think. And it was just around knowing that I can see things and I can see people's potential or feel their potential and their energy that they haven't tapped into yet. So, and the thing that made me kind of hesitate at the start, and I guess I've always had this, is because I thought everybody else was doing it too. And I didn't know that it was actually unique to me, if that makes sense. It was just
you
like,
think that you're like the world, right? You just think that everyone in the world is like us. And then
yes, because I'm looking at somebody or I'm working with somebody, and particularly because prior to, launching my coaching program, it was through my full-time job as a manager, and like seeing my team, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, this, and this, you've got this potential, need to do this, and I can see you doing this, and then they're doing that. And I just thought that was just normal. That's just what a manager does. That's just what it is. And then now I've just really, even since launching my program, after working with you, Victoria, and then launching my program and being able to share this with my clients has been so phenomenal. Just helping them to discover how fucking unique and amazing they are, and then go out and do that thing.
Finding the genius. And what I really, when we were channeling out your genius, of course, it was like bringing that intuitive part of you in to the strategy, right? So this is what Align Success Accelerator, the Academy, is all about, is the strategy and the energetics, and having this beautiful mix of them, where you were doing all the strategy and you were doing all the energetics, but there was some type of mismatch. Yeah. And that was kind of because you were thinking that you had to be or do something to get the results that you were, maybe you thought it had to be harder than it had to be. So can you tell us a little bit about that limitation, maybe that mistaken belief you had of what you needed to do to bring people into a program?
Yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely the mistaken belief that I had to post every day. I had to show up on my stories. I couldn't have a moment where I didn't have something on my stories. I had to create this extravagant launch campaign and start launching 4 weeks out and have the lead magnet, have the waiting list. Like I had to do all these things. And for me, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how because I've got the husband, I've got the full-time job, I've got the toddler. Where am I going to find the time to do all that stuff? That was terrifying. And is that the only way I can do it, to actually, just start helping and serving people? Because that is what I want to do, right? I don't want to be stuck launching the program for the next bloody month or 2 months or whatever it is. So that for me was huge. And I have worked with coaches previously who have been awesome, and that's, I guess, the strategy that they were suggesting that I follow, and it just wasn't working for me. And even going back and kind of saying, that feels really difficult for me and it feels so big and hard, and they're like, that's what you got to do, that's the thing that you got to do. So I guess undoing that work and letting it be easier and letting it be in a way that I could effortlessly do it, because I was listening to my strategy and being my unique self, and just dropping all the shit of how it was supposed to be done.
I love it. So resetting, and coming back to those points of views that we have, those judgments, those considerations that we all have on what it takes. I remember the first thing I said to you guys was, I think it's only 5% of the coaching industry. It may have changed by now, but only 5% makes it to 5-figure monthly, right? And I've been personally doing multiple 5 figures all year, and it seems a little bit crazy weird that other people aren't. So, of course, I wanted to get very, very clear on what you and the other people in the academy were doing.
Yeah.
And you were doing other coaches. You were doing what you've seen, what you've acknowledged, and all that type of stuff, but you only see half because people only show you what they want you to see, right? Or they teach you, obviously, what works for them. So I think it was really quite amazing to go into your strategy, into your authority, and not just starting to align to your design and human design, because it can take a while, but also going, what is that genius and what is required to do now? Sometimes it's dropping all the stuff, dropping the posts, dropping this, doing that. And we did show you a special strategy, but we tweaked it so it fits you. And of course, you now help other people find their life's purpose. One of the things that you had an aha moment on, which I want to share because I think it's really inspiring, is that you had this sacral hit, because you are a sacral manifest generator.
Yeah.
Of you wanted to work with men as well. Now, what we know about manifest generators and generators, for all of you listening, is that a manifest generator can multitask. I cannot be a full-time mom, have a full-time job, and do what I'm doing now for a very long period of time. I could do it for a small amount of hustle to get from A to B, but I can't, right? But you can, Steph, as long as it feels good for you.
Yeah.
So you said to me, oh my goodness, I would love to work with men as well. Like, I want to have my Fuck Yes program. I mean, it's called Creating a Fuck Yes Life. Sorry. I just love it because it's a swear word in there. It's amazing.
I know, it's so mean.
Everyone needs to do it. It's like so good, and it's so you. But, that's great. And you can have men and women and all the things. But you wanted to work with some men, and the most amazing thing happened. I think it was like within a couple of days of you having that awareness. And can you just tell us what actually happened?
Yeah. So it was exactly that. I was working through the program, Victoria's program, and it came to me that I have been putting myself in this little box of like only working with mums or only working with women, because I was kind of thought that was what I had to do, or I was told previously that, you've got to do that. And then I looked at my life and I looked at what I've been doing and managing, like, men for years and years and years, and having phenomenal relationships with them and really, really helping them out. And I said to Victoria, oh my God, I want to work with men as well. So I literally had, and this is the most funny thing, because all my kind of marketing or promotional stuff on Canva, it's quite feminine. And I posted just up one post, and I had a guy reach out to me and say, I'm keen, I want to book a call, let's have a chat. And I got him on the phone, we had a chat, we were going to be absolutely great to work together. And he said, look, I saw your marketing, I think it's probably targeted more towards women, but I'm really keen to work with you. And I was like, oh gosh, yes it is. But so that was a lesson for me, but it was like it was magnetic anyway, even though the post wasn't perfectly designed for a man to come and connect with me, he still did. So, and I just put it out there to the universe. I decided, and I knew that I've been holding myself back from working with men and not giving like them the opportunity to create a fuck yes life with me. Do you know? So it was just awesome. It was like one split decision, and then straight away, a male client. So it was just a real eye-opener and a lesson for me.
And this is a great kind of teaching about listening, and I know you teach this type of stuff in your program as well, is listening to your authority. Because the thing is, if you have got this sacral hit, I want to do this, and it's coming through to you really, really strongly, if you put that aside and you go to your head, then you're confusing this, you're creating confusion. And if you're creating confusion, there's so many C words, then no one's going to buy from you, because, even though your marketing is all very feminine, it was all very pretty and beautiful and targeting towards mums, you consciously changed a post. You made it a little bit different. One post out of what I've been following you for probably a year now, and and you hadn't made any sales in that coaching and in that program in particular. That one post attracted a male who paid in full to work with you.
Yeah.
That is how potent this work is, when you get clear about your genius and what you're calling in. And remembering this is different for everybody, but it's very important to know that, being a manifest generator, for you, it is having the juggle, but having the juggle in a harmony that feels good.
Yeah.
So you get to pivot and change and choose. And as long as you're doing it consciously and you're waiting and responding, it's amazing. So what else did I want to say there? Yeah. So why is less more? So did you stop over giving? Like, one of the things I noticed that you were doing, as well as I was like, damn, girl, are you getting tired? Because I'm loving all your content, but like, we tend to do this overgive thing to show people, what they can have if they come and work with you. So did you stop doing some of that as well?
100%, like immediately within one moment of you kind of pointing it out. I think in our sales call, or, our call at the very beginning, I think that was when it stopped for me, because I was doing that thinking that was the way to bring people in, when it was not. It was the opposite. And I was speaking to people who weren't actually hearing what I was saying or reading what I was writing, because I was trying to give what they weren't ready to receive. So absolutely, that stopping doing that. And it's like, it's not being mysterious or anything like that, but just holding back a little bit. And then when someone is interested, or they've got a vibe, they're picking up on my vibe, it's then responding to that responding to them and giving at that point in time.
And this is one of the things that we noticed about your genius straight away, was that you think everybody was kind of ready for whatever was happening, but you didn't actually realize that your gifts were so different. And everyone has this, by the way. And this is why, of course, Stephanie's program, Living a Fuck Yes Life, is all about finding your life's purpose, because we're not one size fits all in any means, especially when you're integrating a little bit of human design, your intuition, your genius, and strategies that work for you, for your life, your living, and your business. One of those interesting things is, once you turned up your potency and you turned down the overgiving and you got more harmony within these different areas, then you could see the other so much more clearly. So how has this changed your coaching?
It's definitely changed my coaching in terms of just, I guess, being my authentic self with my clients and helping them to see themselves as well, and know that each of them is unique. They're all unique, and they're exactly like you said, like they've all got their own fuck yes life that they're wanting to create. It's not the same. It's completely different from everybody. I'm not here to tell you what it is, but I am absolutely here to help you uncover and discover what it is. So helping them, it's me knowing that I'm unique and that this is not just everybody, helps me to instill that in them and helps them to see that they're unique as well, if that makes sense. And it's tiny. The most incredible thing happened with one of my clients this last couple of weeks and it's tying in with how you've helped me to get more in tune with my intuition as well. And I've been looking at her and I thought, oh my God, and this is also my human design is responding. I said to her, they're saying a little bit crazy that I want to tell you, I've got this thought, can I tell? Yeah. She's like, yeah. I said, you need to write a book. And she was like, oh, I was like, a children's book. I'm like, so clearly think that you need to write a children's book. And she was like, oh my God, I want to write a children's book. I was like, she's like, I've got some ideas I want to write. I had no idea about this, but it was just that stepping in and seeing like, and then, there's other people in the group called too. So it's not like everyone needs to write a book. It was like, I could just see this about her. And now she's come back to me and gone, I've got these ideas, I've started writing and but an invitation for her to see that she's unique as well and that this is available to her. And yeah, it was just a really awesome moment for it's helping with my coaching like that as well.
And that's the thing, like, how can we give out strategies and how can we even give out energetics? So you were doing both, right? But until you saw you. Yeah. And to help someone else have a fuck yes life, to create a fuck yes life, and to also see their life's purpose, they must see themselves, because the external is a reflection of the internal. And just a couple of golden nuggets can completely transform your life. So how long have you been, doing the reels and doing the Facebook stuff? And because obviously you love it, you enjoy it, your energy is great on it, like it's fantastic, but the sales weren't coming in for your insanely incredible no-brainer program. So how long was that going on before you actually had this $4,500 week?
It was probably like a good of like trying to get my coaching program off. Beginning of the year, so January, I would say. This year's gone so fast, I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, like a year. Like this time last year would have been starting to think about it, getting into it. And then since then, I've probably done one reel since then, because I'm like, oh my God, that was a lot of time and energy I was putting into those reels. So completely changed my approach. But yeah, like a good year, I'd say.
Yeah. Wow. And that's amazing. And then you managed to do 4.5K in 1 week, 5 clients, 2 of them were paid in full. And I believe 3 of them were on a payment plan, which you had really good kind of boundaries, and it wasn't like wishy-washy. It was like, this is this or this is this, because you wanted to give them the options. This, of course, was your beta. And one thing that you said before this conversation was, I was fully booked. Because as a full-time mum and a full-time worker and all the things, and you like to live your life, you've got friends and family as well. So it's not like, that's just there. You're managing. So you're like, whoa. You said, I didn't have the capacity, and I actually did only want a small group, because you're testing this program out. Yeah. And you've got early next year, a little bit of a spoiler, you're starting this again. So you're going to be having another like bringing people in, and I'm not going to give any more details on that, but that's what you have coming up. So you're going to better it. We're always here to improve what we're creating, right? So it's going to be amazing. So you basically got fully booked, because you weren't wanting 20 people. So next time you're going to be definitely bringing a lot more, but you didn't want that. You just wanted to test it. You wanted to see how it works, because this is something that you want to keep doing forever, right? So it wasn't just like a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was the thing. It was having that realization too, that this to me was fully booked, because I have got the full-time job. I've got the mum life. I've got the family and the friends and a bit of moments to myself. And so this for me was my capacity. This is what I wanted. And I did want to work with an intimate group of people in my program to then just pour it all into them. Anything more would have been probably a bit of a stretch when I'm doing all the other things, and energetically I wouldn't have achieved that. So I definitely achieved what I wanted and what I had capacity for.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And I was the same with the Align Success Accelerator Academy. I was like, this is the maximum people, this is the minimum of people, this is the criteria. And I know you did the same as well. So you have like a vetting system, really, which it's like, well, because you function from your authentic self and integrity, and that's what, of course, I teach in the program. We go deep into that. It's super important to know that money comes when you're in alignment and you're making aligned decisions, not when you're chasing money. And I know for you and I, that's a very big, important part of what we do as coaches, as coaches that make money, right? So I think that's really beautiful that you did that. So amazing. And what else did I want to say here? So it's kind of changed you as a coach. How does this changed your family life? How has this kind of made any with you and your husband? How's this shaped your friendships and your relationships by actually changing your coaching a little bit?
Yeah, a beautiful question, because that it's so true, isn't it? It does. It flows out into all areas of your life. It helped me, like, stepping up and being able to coach these phenomenal people is what I wanted to do. So you helping me to get the strategy and the system and it all in place to actually get my clients has made me a happier person. Like, I'm not constantly chasing my tail trying to just do the thing that I want to do. Like, I came here to coach. I want to coach. So it's helped me to, I guess, drop a bit of that stress, drop a bit of that running around, kind of throwing the spaghetti at the wall and nothing's actually sticking. I have the strategy. And when I say strategy, I don't mean like, just the strategy. It's the whole lot to do it and to just keep going and to do it again. And when I'm ready to launch my program again, like you said, in the new year, get my new flow of phenomenal people in, then I'll do this again. Like, you've given me this ability to, I know that I can just keep on doing this phenomenal method that you've taught me. So it's just taken a bit of that pressure off, a lot more belief in myself, which obviously translate across to my family, my friends, happy dynamic at home. And also definitely the human design has just gone boom in our house. Like, my son's a manifester. So like, just really, you've really introduced me to human design and how that's playing out in our family as well, and how I can be a bloody better mum to my manifestor son.
I love it. And the thing is, it was a little bit of a trick question, because I was thinking, I wonder what you're going to say about this, because you had a phenomenal relationship and a great mother and stuff like that. But there was an essence of hustle, of keeping it all running, right? Because you're this full-time job and you want to be this mum who takes your kid on adventures and be the best at everything you do. You're a real high achiever in a lot of areas and you love to do it very authentically, which is what I love so much about you. But there was this little bit of what if something else massive comes in? Will I be able to carry it? And now I think you've created some more space. And with the methods that I've shown to you and that I'm sure you'll be showing others in your up-and-coming stuff, it's amazing, because one thing that I found really interesting, and I taught you guys, was to attract, not chase. So I'm curious, have you had a lot more people wanting to, like, a lot more friend requests, a lot more interaction like that, rather than trying to chase people? Like, how has that shifted stuff?
100%. Like, I have not, I'm not chasing followers, like that strategy is completely gone. Even in my Instagram, it's just like a real authentic interaction on Instagram. People are following me, coming onto my page, liking what they're seeing. Same on Facebook. It's the chase. There's no chase. It's like, you're wanting to be that magnetic person that people are attracted to, and they just wanting to come and be in your space. And, I'm obviously still attracted to being in other people's space. So I'm adding those friends and getting on Instagram for those people too. But yes, it's not that chase or putting it out there or trying to be anything other than just me.
I love that. And the amount of times I get people say to me, hey, do you want to come and be a part of this little group? And we like each other's pages and we comment. And I'm just like, why would I do that? Like, That there is so old paradigm. When you are being lit, and that's what happened, right? When I was able to help you see your genius, help you see the genius that only you can do and only you can be. And this is a soul attraction, by the way, guys. If people are attracted to Stephanie's soul, it's like kind of thing. That there has an activation, but it's kind of interesting because it's like you become so magnetic. Your marketing, your coaching, your reels, your whatever you're doing is so lit that people go, what is she doing?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that is absolutely amazing and something that you're going to be able to help people with in the future. So what was the other? So many questions. What was the other thing I was going to say? That is absolutely incredible. So what was the biggest thing out of I think we worked together for 8 weeks and you're still in my container. So you're still in the Spiritually Aligned membership, which is amazing. What was the biggest aha moment from the Academy?
Oh my God. Honestly, it was the best. Those 8 weeks, those 8 weeks were just, I can't even pinpoint it. Getting in touch with my uniqueness, I absolutely, and recognizing that for what it was and believing in it, that I guess that was a huge aha moment for me. There was so many, it's really hard to pinpoint, but I'd have to say just knowing that I am unique and my genius, like, how did I not know it was under my nose the whole time? But that was a aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. There's too many. Honestly, it's so good.
And what I love about it, as well as like you said, with the method that was taught in the Aligned Success Accelerator Academy, you're able to implement that over and over and over. There's no hard sales. There's no that's the question I was going to ask you. It just popped in. I was going to say, isn't it interesting when you got on a sales call, and I pointed this out to you as soon as we jumped on the call, there was no launch. There was no launch. You jumped on a call with me and there was no launch for, like you said before, I don't want to have a 4-week launch. I don't want to like be doing this whole big, oh my God, plan. But it wasn't until you guys jumped on that I said to you guys didn't even know what the program was called. I don't even know if I had actually created the name of the program. So how does that change everything for you, knowing that you can implement these methods, come into this masculine and the feminine and do those things? How does that feel for you now?
Oh, 100%. Like I said, honestly, we've gone full circle, but like at the start when I said relief, like that is honestly the word that comes to mind. And particularly for somebody who had been hustling and had been going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, manifesting generator, doing all the things, I need this to work, I need to do this, that energy, it is relief. Like such relief to know.
Which makes you a better coach, doesn't it? Because you'll be way more grounded.
Yes. Kind of absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so exciting. I'm so glad that you're in the Aligned Success Accelerator Academy. It's sort of a mouthful there. And I'm so excited that you are now finally selling out programs, and I'm super excited that you have got Creating a Fuck Yes Life coming up into 2022. It's going to be incredible. You're getting one-to-one clients. You're doing all of this with so much more ease and grace, and also you have a deeper understanding of who you be. So I'm so grateful for you. And just to kind of, before we log off, is there any advice that you have, any nugget that I know there was a lot of nuggets that you got, and also I want to point out that you were getting up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Sometimes your kid had been up, like Huey had been up teething and all the things, and you would get up every morning. You were like the first on the call, sitting there going, "Hi Victoria, let's go." So I want to commend you because you actually you showed up and you did the work. But what would be, for all of the listeners out there, all of the thousands of people that are going to hear this, if they could hear one piece of advice from you, from the nugget that you got, that they could take and implement in their life, what would that be?
I would say but even that, just to show up and drop all the expectations, drop everything that you think you know about how to do it. If you're not doing it, then just drop it. Like, for example, I wasn't selling out my program, so just drop how I thought I had to do it and just be open to a new way and what else is possible, as you say. That is my greatest advice. Me just like letting go of that expectation of I have to do this and I have to do that. I literally just put that down. I didn't need to carry that anymore. And I was just, there with you with my hands out going, amazing, show me the way. I am so ready to go. So I would just say that. I would just say if you're not getting the results that you want to be getting right at this point in time, drop what you've been doing, or like how the way that it hasn't been happening for you, and try something new. Get advice and go with someone who's doing the thing.
Yeah, the person who's doing the thing. And I've got 2 more questions. The next one is, they just keep dropping in. The next question is, how confident are you to fill up your next, because I know this was just a beta, you were just kind of testing the waters to see if it fit for you, but how confident are you going into 2022 and doing this program again?
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yes, I'm so confident, and it absolutely takes me to this really exciting place, because I know that I just need to stay true to myself. And I know it's a beautiful journey of, I know I'm the manifesting generator, but just slow down a little bit, sit a little bit in that feminine, go with what you've learned from Victoria, use this method, and then it'll happen for me. So I'm really confident and I'm excited. Like, I'm so excited.
Awesome. That's so good. And the last question is about sales. It's dropped in before. How do you feel differently about sales calls now? Because I know a lot of coaches, they get really stuck on this. So this is for all those coaches out there that are not making sales because they're actually afraid of losing sales. So how has that shifted for you?
Oh, 100%, because I did get on those sales calls and I would feel so uncomfortable. And, oh, my God, what happens when I have to get to the point when I'm going to have to ask them for money? I'm not going to be able to do it. So different. I am going in there knowing that this person needs to be in this program and in this container, and that I've got so much to give. And I'd be doing them a disservice if I didn't sell them this phenomenal program that has the capacity to change the direction of their life. So going in with that mindset absolutely was the game changer for me in those sales calls, and also obviously some help from you around how to structure them. But yeah, that I feel fine. I'm excited.
But again, it was the energetics and the strategy, wasn't it? Like, you have to have the energetics right. And we talk about the feminine flow with sales because it shouldn't be hard. And the thing is, guys, how much would you pay to create a fuck yes life, to find out your life's purpose? Like, a few $1,000s is legit, like, totally worth it if your whole entire world changes. So, I trust that the Aligned Success Accelerator Academy was perfect for you, Stephanie. It sounds like you had an extreme amount of success. And like I said, it's just the beginning, right? It's just the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I could not recommend it more highly. It was the best decision of 2021. I love it. Yeah, it was, honestly. And I said I've had a few coaches that have been great, but this was just next level for me.
It's just what you needed at that exact time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. And Steph, how can our listeners, obviously we're on a podcast, this is going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on the socials. So where can people follow you?
They can follow me at Instagram. I definitely hang out the most at Instagram. So my handle is at Steph Lenne, Lenne __. I would love you guys to come and hang out and drop into my DMs and let me know where you found me at Victoria Bond's podcast. That would be amazing.
Yeah, amazing. And yeah, just go check out your riffs. I mean, what are they called? Reels. So I'm so not techie. I'm always like, our first call, I was like, so Stephanie, you do those reel things. I was like, I don't even know how. I need to do like a program of yours to find out how to do a reel. Like,
I'll probably need to get up the game on the reel game then. You're really giving them a pump up.
There's going to be 1,000 people going, how do we do your reels?
Meanwhile, yeah, okay, I better get onto the reels a bit later today.
Yeah. All righty. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I trust that you learned whatever you needed to. And whether you're a manifest generator, a projector, a reflector, a generator, or a manifester, there is a strategy for you. And I know Steph has brought this into her program, which was so amazing. After we did our session, you would decide, boom, this has to go in. It's obviously an all mind because it's a life changer. And if you feel attracted to work with Stephanie or myself, then just reach out to us. Having a coach, whether it's us or whether it's somebody else, as long as it feels aligned and soul led, you can't go wrong. So Stephanie, thank you for your time. Thank you for everybody, and all the best for your program in 2022. Is going to be amazing.
Thank you. Beautiful.
You are so welcome, and thank you, everybody, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining the Release Your Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a review and tell me what your favorite takeaway from today was. There is so much more from where this came from. You can also find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find more content, more coaching, and more guidance. Have a grand and glorious day, and I'll see you next time.